Chapter 4003. Lu Ming and the others were flying, while Dandan was setting up a deployment spell. Even though the deployment spell had been set up temporarily, it could still block the fiends for a while. Even though it was only for a while, it was enough for Lu Ming and the others to escape. Every time the distance between the two sides narrowed, the fiends would be blocked by the deployment spell. Then, the distance between the two sides increased again, maintaining a distance of tens of thousands of li. Bastard. The fiends were furious. They were holding fiend blades in one hand and fiend claws in the other. Each time they attacked, the space collapsed. They destroyed Dandan's deployment spell, but in the end, they couldn't catch up with Lu Ming and the others. In the blink of an eye, they were hundreds of thousands of li away from each other. Suddenly, Lu Ming and the others, who were running away, were astonished. They sensed a powerful qi in front of them. At the same time, they sensed a dense demon qi. More fiends appeared in front of them. There were at least a dozen fiends in that group. 2 of them had the strength of the 9th godly emperor layer. Those fiends noticed Lu Ming and the others and charged at Lu Ming and the others. There were fiends in front and behind them, so they could only run to the right. Die. The 2 groups of fiends chased after Lu Ming and the others. There were 5 fiends of the 9th godly emperor layer and 20 fiends of the 8th godly emperor layer. They were terrifyingly strong. So many fiends were attacking together. Dandan's deployment spell was even weaker. Therefore, the distance between the two sides was getting closer. Lu Ming and the other 3 looked grave. If this went on, things would be bad. If they were overtaken, they would not be able to fend off the 5 experts of the 9th layer of the Divine Emperor realm. The two sides flew for another 100,000 li. The distance between the two sides was now less than 10,000 li. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A few fiends of the 9th godly emperor layer attacked. They slashed out with their fiend blades, which streaked across the sky. In a flash, they crossed 10,000 li and attacked Lu Ming and Ling Yue. Ling Yue was about to use her royal elf bow to block. Don't use your trump cards yet. Save your energy. I'll deal with it, Lu Ming said to Ling Yue. Then, he took out the Gale Pearl and continuously drew out the power within it. Hoo-hoo, the gale within the Gale Pearl continued to rush out, forming a wall of wind behind them. The demon's saber light slashed at the wind wall. Both sides exploded with a violent roar. In the end, the wind wall was forcibly broken. However, as both parties were separated by a distance of nearly 10,000 miles, the attacking power of the other party's saber gleam was not at its peak and had been greatly weakened. Although it had broken through the wind wall, its power had also dissipated. The remaining power was easily blocked by Lu Ming and the rest. Let's see how many moves you can block. Continue attacking. The 5 demons of the 9th godly emperor layer grunted icily and kept attacking. The saber light cut through the air, and the demonic claw tore through the void, pressing down on Lu Ming and the others. However, Lu Ming continued to draw the power within the Gale Pearl to block the attacks of the demon rankers. However, as the distance between the two sides shortened, it became more and more difficult for the Gale Pearl to block the other side's attacks. There was always a saber light that broke through the Gale Wall and smashed towards Lu Ming and the others. The situation was becoming more and more disadvantageous for Lu Ming and the others. At this moment, the eyes of Lu Ming and the others moved, because another group of creatures had appeared in front of them. But this time, it wasn't a demon, but an angel. A group of angels, and most of them were acquaintances of Lu Ming and the others. They were precisely the group of angels that had besieged Ling Yue earlier. Of course, there were more people here. There were more than 20 of them. It was obvious that 2 groups of angels had gathered together. When these angels saw Lu Ming and the others, their eyes immediately burst with killing intent. It's Ling Yue and that Mu Yun. We've met them again. This time, don't let them escape. Attack with all your might. These angels' killing intent surged, and they were about to charge towards Lu Ming and the others, but they were immediately stunned, because they discovered that after Lu Ming and the other 3 saw them, not only did they not escape, they even rushed towards them. What was going on? Seeing that they didn't leave, they even rushed towards them. Wasn't this courting death? But immediately, their expressions changed. This was because they had also discovered the demon rankers chasing after them. They finally knew why Lu Ming and the others were rushing towards them. It was because Lu Ming and the others were being chased by the demon army, and they were using them as shields. Damn it! Let's go! An angel roared, and all the angels turned around and left. They could naturally feel how terrifying the demons behind them were. There were a total of 5 demon kings of the 9th layer of the God Emperor realm. Although they had the strength of the 9th layer of the God Emperor realm, they were definitely not a match for these demons. How could they care about killing Lu Ming and the others? Brothers from the Angel Clan, why are you running away? Stop! Let's destroy these damn demons together, shouted Lu Ming. He quickly chased after the angels. Who's your brother? We're your enemies. Damn it! Hurry up and piss off, shouted many angels furiously. But Lu Ming and the others had finally found some demons as shields. How could they leave so easily? Only by dragging the angels down with them would they have a chance to escape. The 3 groups of people were running at full speed. Lu Ming and the others were only a few thousand li away from the angels. Die! Some of the stronger angels attacked Lu Ming and the others furiously. Many angel divine swords slashed towards Lu Ming and the others, but Lu Ming and the others blocked them. Dandan, don't pay attention to the demons behind us. Go ahead and block the angels. Drag them down with you, said Lu Ming to Dandan. However, Dandan's eyes shone brightly. How do you know my name? Who are you? Dandan stared at Lu Ming. Nestle. Lu Ming scolded himself. He had let it slip out of his mouth in a moment of desperation. He was the one who came up with the name Dandan. Not many people would call him by that name. Dandan must be suspicious. But now is not the time to explain. I'll explain to you when we escape. Hurry up and attack. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Dandan. Hee. Dandan gave a few sinister laughs and cast a few meaningful glances at Lu Ming. Then, countless runes emanated from its body, surging into the void and disappearing. The 3 groups of people fought a battle of wits and courage. In the blink of an eye, they had flown thousands of li away. Block them! At this moment, Dandan shouted and formed a seal with both hands. Suddenly, a large array appeared in front of the angels. This formation condensed countless shining golden sabers and slashed at the angels' faces. Chapter 4004. Dandan condensed a gigantic spell in front of him and slashed at the angels. The angels could only do their best to resist. Naturally, their speed was greatly affected. With such a delay, a few thousand li was covered by Lu Ming and the others in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming and the others caught up with the angels. Because they didn't deliberately stop the demons, the distance between them and the demons was shortened rapidly. There were only a few thousand li left. A few thousand miles was simply too close for them. Their attack power could also be unleashed to its peak. Die! All of you! Die! The 5 demons of the 9th Godly Emperor realm were the first to attack. 5 rays of light shot out from the devil's saber, aiming at Lu Ming and the angels. The demons didn't care whether Lu Ming had any enmity with the angels or not. To the demons, as long as it was a creature from the ancient desolate universe, it deserved to die. Because the creatures from the ancient desolate universe had come here to kill demons. Besides, demons hated the angels even more. Because the angels and the heavenly palace were very close, the angels had contributed a lot to the extermination of the demons. Their enmity with the demons was also great. A few thousand li away, the demons of the 9th Godly Emperor layer were extremely terrifying. Lu Ming took out the mysterious ice rod. He had no choice. At this distance, the Zephyr Pearl couldn't block the attacks of the demons of the 9th Godly Emperor layer. Only the mysterious ice rod could do it. Boom! The mysterious ice rod swept out and blocked the demon's blade. At the same time, Ling Yue also took out her bloodied elven royal bow and shot an arrow to block the demon's blade. Among the angels, the 2 tin-winged angels who had surrounded Ling Yue before had no choice but to use their ultimate weapons. One of them took out an angel sword, the other a basic angel crown to block the demon's blade. There was another angel who didn't use his ultimate weapon because he was an 8-winged angel. He didn't control any ultimate weapon, but his cultivation level was extremely high. He had the strength of the 7th Godly Emperor layer. An 8-winged angel of the 7th godly emperor layer could easily compete with a demon of the 9th godly emperor layer. The man slashed out with his sword, blocking a demonic saber light. The attacks of the 5 fiends of the 9th godly emperor layer were all blocked. However, with this, the distance between the two sides would be even closer. A large number of demons rushed over. Those who had the strength of the 8th godly emperor layer also attacked. 20 demons of the 8th godly emperor layer attacked. Their attacks were terrifying. They surrounded Lu Ming and the angels. Like this, Lu Ming's group, as well as the angels, couldn't leave even if they wanted to. They were blocked by the demons. A fierce battle broke out between the two sides. Kill. The 5 9th-level God Emperor demons were extremely powerful. They charged toward Lu Ming and the angels. Damn it! Damn it! The angels roared angrily. They were so aggrieved that they wanted to die. They didn't expect that not only would they fail to deal with Lu Ming's group, but they would also be dragged down by Lu Ming's group. They were furious, but there was nothing they could do. At that moment, in order to protect themselves, they could only do their best to resist. Lu Ming, Ling Yue, the 2 10-winged angels, and the 8-winged angel who had the strength of the 7th godly emperor layer. The 5 of them could temporarily release the strength of the 9th godly emperor layer. They blocked the 5 demons of the 9th godly emperor layer. Dandan, Hua Shui, and the other angels were fighting against the demons. With Hua Shui's cultivation level, it was very dangerous in such a battle, but luckily, Dandan was there to help her. These talismans are for you. Dandan took out a talisman and put it on Hua Shui's body. Hua Shui's body was covered with talismans, and her strength and speed increased. That was the only way she could protect herself. As for Dandan, talismans appeared all over his body. He looked like the incarnation of talismans. He kept flickering, and the demons couldn't touch him for a while. However, the angels weren't so lucky. Among the angels, there were strong and weak ones. Some of the stronger ones were barely able to protect themselves. Some of the weaker ones were directly killed by the demons, and their blood scattered in the air. For a moment, at least 7 or 8 of my angels were killed. This made the angels even angrier. However, even if they pulled the angels into the water, they were still at a disadvantage. They weren't a match for them. Lu Ming's expression was grave. If this continued, it would be disadvantageous for them. This was because he, Ling Yue, and the 2 10-winged angels of the angel clan could release the strength of the 9th godly emperor layer for a short period of time, but they couldn't hold on for too long. Continuing the battle was very disadvantageous for them. Lu Ming thought of this, and the angels naturally thought of this as well. Yanford and the others are nearby. Quickly send a message to them and tell them to hurry over and support us. A 10-winged angel roared and used his full strength to block a few demons, giving one of the angels a chance to send a message. That angel seized the opportunity and sent out a message. Dandan, I'll rely on you to escape later. Lu Ming transmitted to Dandan. Don't worry, I've already started preparing. Do I need you to mention it? Replied Dandan. He was constantly setting up a formation. Boom. Lu Ming's taboo force kept pouring into the Bingxian rod. The Bingxian rod erupted with terrifying power. Terrifying cold currents kept gushing out, freezing the void. The surrounding demons did not dare to get close to it. Lu Ming used the mysterious ice rod to exchange a few blows with a cultivator of the 9th godly emperor layer. However, Lu Ming sensed that a lot of forbidden strength had been consumed. At most, he could use about 5 more moves. Little boy, with the strength of the 1st godly emperor layer, you can forcibly use the strength of the 9th godly emperor layer. Let's see how many moves you can use. Demon Claw. The demon of the 9th godly emperor layer looked ferocious. He stretched out his sharp claws, which were as big as a small mountain, towards Lu Ming. He wanted to kill Lu Ming in one strike. Lu Ming held the piercing ice mystic rod and lashed it out horizontally, shattering the void and colliding with the devil's claws. Another explosion spread in the air. A demon of the 7th godly emperor layer didn't have time to dodge and was frozen. Then, the chi behind him smashed his body into pieces. The other demons were scared and didn't dare get close to the battle between Lu Ming and the demon of the 9th godly emperor layer. In fact, When the other cultivators of the ninth godly emperor layer fought, the demons and angels didn't dare get close. The two sides exchanged a few more attacks. The situation was getting worse for Lu Ming and the angels. Dandan, are you done? Lu Ming asked Dandan telepathically. Almost, almost. Wait a little longer, replied Dandan. He continued setting up the formation. At that moment, in the distance, the sound of whistling wind could be heard. Holy lights illuminated the sky. The angels had arrived. Chapter 4005. Another group of angel tribe members had arrived. There were more than a dozen angels in this group, and there were many experts among them. Among them, there were two who had the battle strength of the 9th level of the Divine Emperor realm. As expected of the top 10 races, there were too many geniuses, and the number of people participating in the Heavenly Soldier examination was also very high. Haha, the helpers are here. The angels were overjoyed. With the addition of this group of fresh troops, they were saved. Quick, help us block these demons and help us charge out. The male 10-winged angel sent a sound transmission to the angels. They had no intention of tangling with the demons. They planned to rush out first and leave Lu Ming and the others here to wait for death. You dare to plot against us? I will make you die miserably and become food for the demons. These angels thought fiercely in their hearts. But immediately, their expressions changed. This was because a dense demonic aura was coming from another direction. Over there, another group of demons was charging over. Obviously, the battle here had alarmed the surrounding demons. Damn it! These angels were shocked. Quick, come and help us rush out. The male angel roared. At this moment, all right, Dandan called out. Suddenly, endless runes spread out, and an array appeared beneath Lu Ming, Ling Yue, and Hua Shui's feet. The moment this array appeared, it was like a piece of clothing that stuck to their bodies. Then, one figure after another appeared around them. For example, dozens of Lu Ming suddenly appeared around Lu Ming. They looked exactly the same as Lu Ming, and even their auras were exactly the same. Dozens of Lu Ming suddenly appeared at the scene. Ling Yue, Hua Shui, and Dandan were the same. Dozens of figures also appeared around them. Swish, swish, swish. In the next moment, dozens of figures rushed out in all directions. Those demons were all dumbfounded. This was because the dozens of figures seemed to be real. Even their auras seemed to be real. It was impossible to tell whether they were real or fake. Kill, 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 kill. These abyss devils could only attack randomly. One figure after another was defeated by their attacks. However, among the several tens of silhouettes, there were always some that managed to rush out. As soon as these figures rushed out, they fled in all directions. Damn it! Hurry up and chase after those brats. Leave these angels to us, said a demon of the 9th godly emperor layer to the demons behind him. The abyss devils that came later scattered and chased after Lu Ming and the others. As for the demons from before, they attacked the angels with all their might. The demons had 5 cultivators of the 9th godly emperor layer, and now they were all fighting against the angels. The angels were under even more pressure. Fortunately, the angels had new reinforcements. Even so, for the time being, they could only barely protect themselves. Their plan to rush out was ruined. They were so angry that they nearly vomited blood on the spot. Their original plan was to rush out and leave Lu Ming and the others behind. But now, the situation was the complete opposite. They were the ones who were left behind. The ones who rushed out were Lu Ming and the others. It could only be said that reality was very cruel. They could only fight back with all their might. Lu Ming and the others didn't care about that. After they rushed out of the encirclement, their real bodies gathered together and flew in the same direction. The demons that came later also had many strong cultivators. There were 3 cultivators of the 9th godly emperor layer. There were 15 of them of the 8th godly emperor layer, and almost 100 of them below the 8th godly emperor layer. There were so many of them that they quickly got rid of the fake bodies. Then, they chased after Lu Ming and the others' real bodies. There's no end to this. Lu Ming and Ling Yue's expressions were very ugly. It was obvious that the army of the 8 Snakes Demon Kingdom had been mobilized. There were many strong demons in this area. It wouldn't be easy to escape. Unfortunately, My cultivation level is still too low. If I could become stronger and break through to the second godly emperor layer, I wouldn't need to fear these demons, thought Lu Ming. Even though he was under great pressure, breaking through to the second godly emperor layer wasn't going to be easy. Both sides started a chase again. It was just that the demons behind them had changed. You guys go first. I'll stay and stop them, Lu Ming suddenly said. He planned to stay and fight with these demons to see if he could take the opportunity to break through to the second godly emperor layer. But doing so was very dangerous. If he couldn't break through, he might stay here forever. But if he didn't do this, he would never be able to shake off the demons. If he was caught, it would be equally dangerous. I'll stay too, Ling Yue said. If you want to stay and fight, then I'll stay and accompany you. Danden's gaze turned as he said, I'll stay too. Hua Shui also said, Hua Shui, you go first. Wait for us in front. Ling Yue shook her head. That's right, Hua Shui, you go first. Lu Ming also said. To be honest, with Hua Shui here, they couldn't use it. Instead, they had to take care of her. Hua Shui gritted her teeth and clenched her fists tightly. However, she knew very well in her heart that amongst the four of them, she was the weakest. If she stayed here, she would indeed be in the way. It would be even more disadvantageous for Lu Ming and Ling Yue. In her heart, she hated herself for being too weak. Her cultivation was clearly the highest, but her strength was the weakest. She even needed others to take care of her. Hua Shui, hurry up and leave. This is an order, Ling Yue said. All right, then you guys be careful. I'll inform the rest of the elves. You guys must live. Hua Shui gritted her teeth and continued to fly forward. As for Lu Ming and the other two, they stopped and turned to face the demons that were chasing after them. Danden, you should still have some trump cards, right? Use them all, Lu Ming said to Danden. Lu Ming knew this guy too well. If he didn't have the slightest bit of confidence, would he have taken the initiative to stay? Hee, as expected, it's you. You know me best. Danden chuckled and glared at Lu Ming. Obviously, he had already guessed Lu Ming's identity. Following that, two bright red talismans appeared in Danden's hands. I spent a lot of effort to obtain these two talismans, and their one-time use, Danden said with a pained expression. I'll give it to you now. If you use it on your divine armament, it will allow your divine armament to awaken a portion of its power. There's such a good thing. Lu Ming and Ling Yue's eyes lit up. Be it the ice mystic rod or the blood-stained elven king bow in Ling Yue's hands, they were all extremely high-level treasures. Their powers were far more than that. They were only in hiding and needed Lu Ming and the rest to activate them. However, with Lu Ming and Ling Yue's cultivation, they could only unleash a small portion of their power. Most of their power was hidden. As for these two runes, they could unleash a trace of power. They could definitely increase the power of the great killing weapon by a lot. Chapter 4006. Lu Ming and Ling Yue didn't hesitate and put the talisman on their weapons. As soon as the seal was placed on the divine weapon, it melted like ice and turned into a ball of seal, covering the divine weapon. In a flash, Lu Ming sensed some strength emerge from the depths of the Ice Xian staff. The Ice Xian staff was really releasing some strength. At the same time, Ling Yue's royal bow was the same. On the side, Danden looked pained because the talisman was a one-time use item. If he sold it, it would be priceless. But it was gone just like that. He quickly calculated in his heart how he would get back the losses from Lu Ming and Ling Yue. At that moment, the fiends were approaching. Die! 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 Shouted the fiends, especially the three leaders of the ninth godly emperor layer. They attacked one after another. 3 fiend blades streaked across the sky towards Lu Ming and the others. Bzzz. Lu Ming's Ice Xian staff shook violently. Lu Ming's forbidden strength kept pouring into the Ice Xian staff. The Ice Xian staff quickly became bigger and bigger. But Ling Yue's attack was even faster than his. An arrow pierced through the sky and shot towards one of the fiends of the ninth godly emperor layer. The arrow and the fiend's fiend blade collided. An explosion shook the sky, and the fiend's blade shook violently. The fiend's arm shook violently, and blood appeared on it. He was shaken violently and moved back 1,000 li. The two fiends of the 8th godly emperor layer coughed up blood. Ling Yuwei's arrow had injured a cultivator of the 9th godly emperor layer. It really worked. Ling Yuwei was overjoyed. As expected, the royal bow with blood on it released some strength. In addition to her own strength, her attack power had already surpassed ordinary fiends of the 9th godly emperor layer. At that moment, Lu Ming's attack arrived. The gigantic Xin ice rod collided with the two demons of the 9th godly emperor layer. The two demons' blade lights broke apart, and they were both pushed back. Lu Ming was overjoyed that he had defeated two demons of the 9th godly emperor layer in one move. Do it in one go. Lu Ming sent a sound transmission to Ling Yuwei, then pounced forward. The ice profound rod continuously smashed out, and 3 rod shadows crushed the void, pressing towards the demon rancor. Under the mysterious ice staff, the void kept exploding, and a terrifying chill spread out. The mysterious ice staff had not yet landed, but a terrifying chill had already enveloped the area. Some of the weaker demons were immediately covered by a layer of ice. Those who had the strength of the 7th godly emperor layer and below were frozen to death. Retreat! Retreat! Some demons of the 8th and 7th godly emperor layer shouted furiously and tried to block the ice. The 3 demons of the 9th godly emperor layer shouted furiously and released demon chi. They used all their strength to attack. 3 huge saber glows broke through the icy intent and landed on the mysterious ice rod. Boom! 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 There were 3 explosions. Lu Ming's body shook violently, and he couldn't help but move back. The mysterious ice rod kept shaking. However, the 3 demons weren't any better. Even though they had defeated Lu Ming, they had also moved back a few steps. And that was only Lu Ming's attack. When Lu Ming attacked, Ling Yuwei also attacked. Her arrow was aimed at one of the cultivators of the 9th godly emperor layer. When the demon and Lu Ming exchanged blows, a terrifying arrow shot towards the demon. It matched perfectly with Lu Ming's attack. As soon as the demon retreated, Ling Yuwei's arrow arrived. Roar! The demon roared furiously and did his best to block. However, he had just exchanged blows with Lu Ming. His chi was unstable, and he couldn't use his full strength to block the attack. He could only use 50% of his strength. 50% of his strength couldn't block Ling Yuwei's arrow. Bang! Bang! A series of explosions rang out. The arrow broke through the demon's layers of defense and pierced through his chest. The demon screamed miserably as a hole appeared in his chest. However, he wasn't dead yet, but he was severely injured. All right, Lu Ming and Dandan were overjoyed. Their plan was useful. Continue. Lu Ming spoke, activating the Bingxian rod and striking out again. He had to hurry, because the runes given by Dandan wouldn't take too long. Boom! The mysterious ice rod turned into a few shadows and smashed down again. Block it! Damn it! Block it! The remaining 2 demons of the 9th godly emperor layer roared and attacked with all their might. The other demons of the 8th and 7th godly emperor layer also attacked together. As for the heavily injured 9th godly emperor layer demon, he hid behind and didn't dare to attack. He was afraid that Ling Yuwei would shoot him to death. There was another series of explosions. Lu Ming's mysterious ice rod was blocked. However, Ling Yuwei seized the opportunity and shot another arrow. This arrow was aimed at another demon of the 9th godly emperor layer. After blocking Lu Ming's attack, the 9th stage God Emperor Realm Demon was also unable to block Ling Yuwei's attack. An arrow pierced through his body and he was severely injured. It had to be said that the vitality of demons was very strong, especially those of the 9th godly emperor layer. Ling Yuwei's arrow was very terrifying. A destructive energy exploded from the inside. However, their injuries were also very serious. Let's go. The remaining demons were terrified. The only one who wasn't injured, the 9th godly emperor layer demon, roared and turned around to leave. They knew that they couldn't deal with Lu Ming and the others. If they continued fighting, they would be in danger. They had to leave first, meet up with the other demons, and then chase after Lu Ming and the others. You still want to leave? Lu Ming's eyes were cold. He used the Great Divine Wind technique and his body flickered, attacking the demons. Lu Ming wouldn't miss the spirit blood of these demons. Now that there was such a good opportunity, Lu Ming wouldn't let it go so easily. At the same time, the mysterious ice rod turned into 3 shadows and smashed down. The 3 stick shadows were still able to maintain an extremely strong attacking power. If there were more stick shadows, the attacking power would decrease. Rumble. The sky and earth shook violently. The mysterious ice rod pressed down with unparalleled force. Work together, roared a ninth godly emperor layer demon. All the demons gathered together and went all out. Dozens of demons' demonic chi condensed and turned into a shocking sword light. It violently slashed out, blocking the mysterious ice rod. However, Ling Yue attacked again. An arrow shot towards the last demon of the ninth godly emperor layer who wasn't injured. But that demon was very cunning. When he blocked Lu Ming's attack, his silhouette flickered and he retreated behind the other demons. Ling Yue's arrows pierced through 3 fiends of the 8th godly emperor layer and killed them, but the fiend of the 9th godly emperor layer dodged them. Then, he flapped his wings and abandoned the other demons to escape alone. Chapter 4007. That uninjured demon of the 9th godly emperor layer had abandoned the other demons and escaped on his own. He was extremely fast. In just a few flashes, he had already covered a distance. But at that moment, a young man appeared in front of him. If it had been someone from the 8-Snake Demon Kingdom who had participated in the meeting of the princes of the 8-Snake Demon Kingdom, they would have recognized that young man immediately. At that moment, Samo Luo had turned into a human. Even his demon chi was concealed. He looked like a human. The cultivator of the 9th godly emperor layer had seen Samo Luo before, but he had never seen Samo Luo in human form. Therefore, he didn't recognize Samo Luo. When he saw Samo Luo, he thought Samo Luo was from the desolate universe. Immediately, the demon of the 9th godly emperor layer shouted furiously, "Little boy, piss off." At the same time, he grabbed Samo Luo with his claws. Samo Luo's eyes glittered coldly. He threw a punch at the demon's claws. Boom! Strong chi spread everywhere. The demon of the 9th godly emperor layer's expression changed drastically. His claws made cracking sounds, and his bones broke. He was pushed back. At that moment, Ling Yue attacked again. She shot an arrow at the demon. This time, he couldn't dodge it. The arrow pierced through his body and he was severely injured. Swish! Samo Luo's silhouette flickered. He threw himself at the demon. His claws were like steel nails. They pierced through the demon's head. The demon died on the spot. On the other side, Lu Ming was holding the Xian'ai staff. Nobody could stop him. His staff slammed into the demons one after another. Even a demon of the 9th godly emperor layer who had been severely injured died at Lu Ming's hands. When Samo Luo saw that, his eyes glittered with murder. He also threw himself at the demons. His claws were like rainbows. Each time he attacked, a demon was killed. The third demon who had been severely injured also died at Samo Luo's hands. Lu Ming and the other 2 surrounded the demons. The remaining demons weren't a match for them. In the blink of an eye, most of them were killed. The remaining ones wanted to escape, but Samo Luo chased after them and killed them all. Phew! Lu Ming took a deep breath. The danger was finally over. Lu Ming, Ling Yue, and Dandan walked towards Samoros. "Brother, thank you for your help." Lu Ming and the others cupped their fists in gratitude. "There's no need to stand on ceremony. We're all from the primitive universe, so it's only natural for us to fight against the demons," said Samo Luo smiling. He glanced at Lu Ming and the others and said, "You're really strong. You only have the strength of the 2nd godly emperor layer. Surprisingly, you defeated such a strong group of evil demons. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it." What Samoras said was true. He had already arrived while they were fighting with the demons, hiding in the dark to observe. He discovered that Lu Ming and Ling Yue's attack power was simply astonishing, causing him to be shocked. Therefore, he originally wanted to take action to deal with Lu Ming and the others, but he changed his mind at the last moment and took action to deal with the defeated demons. Dealing with those demons was to gain the trust of Lu Ming and the others. As long as he could gain the trust of Lu Ming and the others, it would be much easier to deal with Lu Ming and the others. Brother, you're too polite. It's just luck. Lu Ming said simply out of politeness. I am Lu Feng. How should I address you? Samoros said, Don't you know us? Lu Ming's eyes flashed as he felt a little puzzled. It was normal for them to not know him and Dandan, but it was rare for them to not know Ling Yue. After all, they could see Ling Yue's portrait through the dream jade. However, Lu Ming only had a trace of doubt in his eyes and did not pay too much attention to it. After all, the great desolate universe was too big, and there were countless geniuses. It was normal for some people to not care about the outside world and focus on cultivation. Lu Ming, Ling Yue, and Dandan reported their names. Why don't the three of you work together? How about we hunt demons together? Samoros said. Lu Ming and the other two were moved. Samoros's attack just now was very powerful. They could see that although Samoros's cultivation was only at the 6th layer of the Divine Emperor realm, his battle prowess was astonishingly strong. Previously, when he had fought head-on with the 9th layer of the Divine Emperor realm, he had actually injured the 9th layer of the Divine Emperor realm in one move. This was his own true battle prowess, and he did not rely on external objects. If Samoros joined them and cooperated with them, then even if they encountered demons in the future, they would be able to relax a lot. Lu Ming, you have to be careful of this Lu Feng. I feel that there's something wrong with him. At this time, Bone Demon reminded him. No, what's wrong? Lu Ming asked. I can feel a trace of demonic chi from his body. Although he hid it very well, there was still a trace of it leaked out. You can't feel it, but you can't hide it from my senses. Bone Demon said. Hidden demonic chi? Could it be that he carried some kind of treasure with him that had demonic chi? Or perhaps he cultivates some kind of cultivation technique that can absorb demonic chi? Lu Ming said to Bone Demon as thoughts flashed through his mind. I don't know about that. Just be careful. Bone Demon said. Lu Ming nodded silently in his heart, but he did not suspect that Samoros was a demon. After all, in the great desolate universe, there were some treasures that contained demonic chi, or some strange mysterious techniques that could absorb and refine demonic chi. However, he still raised his vigilance and paid attention to Samoros. All right, with Brother Lu joining us, it will definitely be easier for us to deal with the demons. Ling Yue nodded and smiled. Lu Ming and Dandan did not object. Then let's go meet up with Hua Shui first, Ling Yue said. Immediately, they flew in the direction Hua Shui had left. On the way, Samoros's gaze would occasionally sweep across the ice profound rod in Lu Ming's hands and the Elven King's bow in Ling Yue's hands. The reason why he hadn't made a move yet was because he was afraid of Lu Ming and Ling Yue's two divine weapons. After all, he had clearly seen the power of the two divine weapons just now. Yes, Lu Ming and Ling Yue had yet to put away their two divine weapons. It wasn't that they didn't want to put them away, but that they couldn't put them away yet. This was because the runes on them had yet to disappear. The rune that Dandan had given him had a time limit. Before the time was up, it wouldn't disappear. If the rune didn't disappear, Lu Ming and the others wouldn't be able to put away their divine weapons. However, if he didn't activate it in his hand, it wouldn't consume any energy, so it wouldn't be a problem. As Lu Ming and Ling Yue flew, they recovered the energy they had expended earlier. Not long after, they found Hua Shui anxiously waiting in front of them. Seeing that Lu Ming and the others were fine, Hua Shui was overjoyed. Princess, I've already sent a message to the rest of the elves. However, they're quite far away from us. I'm afraid it won't be easy for them to come and meet us. Hua Shui said. Chapter 4008. Ling Yue nodded and said, It's fine. We'll just wander around the 8-Snake Mountain Range. We won't go deep into the 8-Snake Mountain Range. We should be able to handle it if we're a bit more vigilant. They had the spirit blood of 3 9th-layer Divine Emperor Realm demons, as well as more than 10 8th-layer Divine Emperor Realm and dozens of 7th-layer Divine Emperor Realm demons. This should be enough for them to pass the examination. Next, they just needed to be careful and hunt more demons to obtain more merit points. If the situation wasn't right, they wouldn't force it. Everyone left and headed in another direction. A moment later, the runes on the ice profound rod and the Elven Royal bow finally faded and slowly disappeared. The rune power that Dandan had given him had finally disappeared. Lu Ming and Ling Yue kept the two divine weapons into their sea of consciousness. At this moment, a sharp glint flashed across Samoro's eyes. "Brother Mu," Samoro called out to Lu Ming and approached Lu Ming. "What is it?" Lu Ming had just asked. Suddenly, Samoro made his move. His sharp claws grabbed towards the top of Lu Ming's head. The strength chi whistled with terrifying might. Space constantly exploded in Samoro's hands. At such a close distance, it would be difficult for an ordinary person to avoid it. However, because Lu Ming had always maintained a trace of vigilance towards Samoro, the moment Samoro made his move, Lu Ming reacted and raised his hand to block Samoro's sharp claws. However, the power of Samoro's claws was extremely shocking. Even though Lu Ming had used his full strength at the critical moment, he was still unable to block Samoro's attack. Lu Ming's palm directly exploded. Seeing that Lu Ming was actually able to block his sudden attack, Samoro's gaze turned cold. His other hand slapped out, hitting Lu Ming's chest. Boom! Lu Ming's chest was directly pierced through, and a hole that went through his front and back appeared. It was extremely terrifying. Lu Ming's body also retreated explosively, breaking more than 10 big trees. Ling Yue, Dandan, and Hua Shui all widened their eyes in shock. "Retreat!" Lu Ming roared. Ling Yue, Dandan, and Hua Shui instinctively retreated, pulling away from Samoro's. "I didn't expect you to be so vigilant against me. I have to say, you're too careful." Samoro's looked at Lu Ming in surprise. He did not expect his sudden attack to fail to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming spat out several mouthfuls of blood. His injuries were very serious. Destructive energy was constantly attacking his body. If it was an ordinary person, they definitely wouldn't have survived. However, each of Lu Ming's cells could exist independently. As long as all of his cells were not destroyed at once, he could recover as long as there was enough energy stored in his cells. "Lu Feng, why did you attack Mu Yun?" Ling Yue shouted loudly. The Elven King's bow, which was stained with blood, appeared in her hand and was aimed at Samoro. "Do you want to monopolize the evil demon spirit blood?" Dandan shouted. "Ha ha ha, do you think I want your evil demon spirit blood? Let me tell you the truth, I want your lives." Samoro's chuckled, looking as if he had the pearl of wisdom in his hands. Indeed, he was completely confident that he could kill Lu Ming and the other three. He didn't care about Dandan and Hua Shui at all. He was mainly afraid of Lu Ming and Ling Yue. However, just now, the runes on Lu Ming and Ling Yue's divine armament had already disappeared and their power had weakened by a bit. He no longer had any worries. In addition, he had suddenly attacked and heavily injured Lu Ming. Yes, in his opinion, although he did not kill Lu Ming was already seriously injured and on the verge of death. He no longer had the strength to fight. There was only Ling Yue left, and he did not care at all. Therefore, he remained calm and unhurried. "I don't think we know each other. There's no enmity between us. Since you're not here for the evil demon spirit blood, why do you want to kill us?" Lu Ming asked. "The reason for killing you is very simple, because I am a demon," Samoro said coldly, his body emitting a dense demonic aura. This time, Ling Yue, Dandan, and Hua Shui were all stunned. Obviously, Samoro's answer was out of their expectations. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was slightly better, because he had his suspicions before. Demon. He really is a demon. No wonder the bone demon felt a hidden demonic aura on his body. Also, no wonder he doesn't know Ling Yue. Lu Ming's mind raced as he suddenly shouted, "Be careful!" Because at this time, Samoro's made his move again. He did not attack Lu Ming, but instead attacked Ling Yue. His speed was extremely fast as he rushed towards Ling Yue, his claws grabbing towards Ling Yue. However, Ling Yue was already prepared. Her divine power crazily poured into the blood-stained elf king bow, and an arrow condensed and shot towards Samoro's. Boom! The arrow accurately hit Samoro's claw, causing a violent explosion. However, Samoro's was extremely powerful. In a direct confrontation, the arrow shot by Ling Yue shook violently and then shattered. As for Samoro's, he still had some strength left. His sharp claws grabbed towards Ling Yue, causing her to retreat explosively. "You can't escape. Die," Samoras shouted coldly. The demonic aura was extremely dense, and his claws actually turned into sinister demon claws, grabbing towards Ling Yue. But at this time, boom, a gigantic staff shadow blasted through the space and blasted towards Samora with astonishing power. This kind of attack had already created a crisis for him. He had no choice but to stop his attack on Ling Yue and turn around to claw at her twice. Boom, boom. The two claws grabbed onto the staff shadow, causing a violent explosion. The staff shadow was sent flying. You can actually unleash such a powerful attack. Samoras revealed a shocked expression as he looked at Lu Ming. The one who attacked just now was naturally Lu Ming. "What is it? You're surprised? You didn't kill me in one go just now. Now, you don't have the chance," Lu Ming said. Samoras was not only surprised, but also shocked. He was well aware of the power of his sneak attack on Lu Ming previously. He was already very surprised that Lu Ming did not die. However, Lu Ming was definitely seriously injured. His injuries were very serious. Ordinary people would not be able to unleash even 10% of their combat power. However, Lu Ming's attack, just now, definitely had the power of the 9th level of the Divine Emperor realm. How is this possible? Immediately, his face revealed a sinister killing intent as he said, "So what if you can unleash your strongest battle strength? You still have to die, kill." Samoras let out a long howl, his body moving like lightning as he charged towards Lu Ming. His claw grabbed at the air, and a claw the size of a mountain grabbed towards Lu Ming. However, on the other side, Ling Yue also made her move. An arrow shattered the void and shot towards Samoras. In Samora's other hand, a devil's blade appeared. With a slash, it blocked Ling Yue's arrow and continued to attack Lu Ming. Chapter 4009. Facing Samoras' attack, Lu Ming wasn't afraid at all. He activated the Bingxian rod and blasted it out. The Bingxian rod was like a mountain, smashing towards Samoras. The two collided again. Lu Ming felt the Bingxian rod tremble violently. An incomparably powerful force rushed over from the Bingxian rod. Lu Ming's body shook violently, and he was forced to retreat. What a powerful force! Lu Ming's face was solemn. This Samoras' talent was very high. He was definitely a top monster among the demons. His cultivation base was at the 6th layer of the Divine Emperor realm, but his battle strength could suppress an ordinary 9th layer of the Divine Emperor realm. However, Lu Ming felt that Samoras couldn't fight across 4 levels. His strength should be inferior to Enjieling, a candidate of the Universe Prodigy list. However, it was still stronger than crossing 3 levels. It should be between 3 and 4 levels. Such strength was completely above Lu Ming and the current Ling Yue. Even if they unleashed the power of their killing weapons, it would still be the same. The key point was that Lu Ming and the others couldn't hold on for too long. Even if you can unleash your full strength, you will still die, Samoras shouted. The devil's blade in his left hand and the devil's claw in his right hand attacked Lu Ming and Ling Yue at the same time. His attacks were crazy, launching a storm of attacks. With his intelligence, he naturally knew that Lu Ming and Ling Yue were completely relying on their divine weapons to unleash the power of the 9th layer of the Divine Emperor realm. However, this definitely couldn't last long, so he had to keep attacking. When the two of them were exhausted, it would be the time for him to win. Boom. The two sides exchanged a few more moves. Lu Ming and Ling Yue's faces turned pale. The power of their damage was too great. Previously, when they were fighting with a group of demons, they had continuously activated their killing weapons. At that time, they hadn't fully recovered. Now that they were continuously activating it, the consumption was too shocking. Ha ha ha, die for me. Samoras also sensed it and revealed a sinister smile. CK your grandfather. Bite him for me. Dandan roared as he pushed out with both hands. A gigantic formation appeared in the void. Then, huge crocodiles formed from the formation and pounced on Samoras, opening their mouths to bite him. However, the devil's blade in Samoras' hand slashed out, and the crocodiles exploded one by one. Dandan had already started setting up the formation when Lu Ming, Ling Yue and Samoras were fighting. Unfortunately, The time it took to set up the formation was still too short, but its power was already extremely shocking. It could barely affect Samoros and reduce the pressure on Lu Ming and Ling Yue. Lu Ming and Ling Yue charged forward again. Both parties exchanged another 2 blows. The taboo power in Lu Ming's body was almost depleted. At this moment, he was constantly forcing out his potential, and only then was he able to barely resist Samoras. However, Lu Ming and the other 2 were still at a disadvantage, unable to defeat Samoras. Seeing that the situation was becoming more and more disadvantageous for Lu Ming and the others, Lu Ming was prepared to take out the purple copper coffin and risk it all. At this moment, the sound of something tearing through the air came from afar. Someone was coming, and it wasn't just one group of people. The sound of something tearing through the air came from 2 directions. Moreover, there were quite a few of them. The people coming from 2 directions were extremely fast, rapidly approaching this place. Samoras' expression changed slightly. He couldn't tell if the person was a demon or a creature from the great, desolate universe. The demonic aura on his body quickly converged, and the devil's blade in his hand disappeared. His palm also returned to the appearance of a normal person. In the next moment, 2 groups of people appeared not far away. Lu Ming, Ling Yue, and the others' eyes lit up. This was because neither side was a demon, but a creature from the great, desolate universe. That's the Buddha clan. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. One of them was dressed in white robes with a golden Buddha light above their heads. This was obviously the Buddha clan of the top 10 races. The Buddha clan was an extremely unique race. In fact, there were very few true Buddha clan members. In this group of people, there was only one true Buddha clan member. One of them was about 2 meters tall. His entire body was golden, as if he was made of gold. He didn't have any hair, and there was a Buddha light above his head. His palms were pressed together, and he looked very dignified. This was a true Buddha clan member. As for the others, they came from various races in the great desolate universe. Because they were fated with Buddha, they joined the Buddha clan to cultivate Buddha Tao. Slowly, these living beings who cultivated Buddha Tao were also known as the Buddha clan. The other group of people wasn't to be underestimated either, because they also came from one of the top 10 races. One of the top 10 races, the Battle Saint tribe. Lu Ming even recognized one of them. It was the peerless monster of the Battle Saint tribe, Battle God Yuan. With the arrival of the Battle Saint tribe and the Buddha clan, Lu Ming and the others couldn't help but stop their battle with Samoras. It's the elf princess Ling Yue and Mu Yun. Who is that young man? Why are they fighting? Could it be that they are fighting for the demon spirit blood? The people from the Battle Saint tribe and the Buddha clan discussed silently. They didn't interfere. Everyone, this man is the incarnation of a demon. Let's attack together and kill him. Lu Ming roared. Now that a group of helpers came, there was no reason for him to let them go. As the sound of his voice faded, the expressions of the people from the Battle Saint tribe and the Buddha clan changed. Unkind looks appeared on their faces as they stared at Samoras. However, Samoras' expression remained calm. Everyone, he is framing me. He wants to borrow your strength to deal with me. I'm also from the great desolate universe. Do you guys think I look like a demon? The people from the Battle Saint tribe and Buddha clan shook their heads. The primogenitor bloodline that Samoras awakened was extremely unique. It could conceal the baleful devilish chi very deeply. These people from the Buddha clan and Battle Saint tribe weren't bone devils. They basically wouldn't be able to sense the baleful devilish chi hidden by Samoras. Hence, they naturally wouldn't believe that Samoras was a demon. Upon seeing this scene, Samoras coldly laughed in his heart. He then said, "Everyone, Mu Yun, Ling Yue and the others want to snatch the blood of demons from me. Truly despicable. I won't let this matter rest. I hope that everyone won't interfere." After speaking, Samoras directly rushed towards Lu Ming. Although he didn't use the baleful devilish chi, his combat prowess was extremely shocking. Every move he made had the combat prowess of a 9th-level God Emperor. Lu Ming, Ling Yue, and Dandan could only block. But at this moment, Lu Ming and Ling Yue were both exhausted. The might of their divine weapons had already weakened. After exchanging a single blow, they were forced to retreat, unable to block Samoras. Everyone, this person is really a demon. Earlier, he even used the ultimate move of a demon. We can't let him off. This person is sinister and cunning. After dealing with us, he will definitely deal with you guys. Let's join forces and kill him. Hua Shui was extremely anxious. She shouted at the people from the Buddha clan and Battle Saint Lord. Ba. Among the people from the Buddha clan, the real Buddha clan chanted. Not only did he not make a move, he even led the people from the Buddha clan and retreated a distance away. It was clear that he didn't want to help either side. As for the people from Battle Saint Lord's side, they turned their gazes towards Battle God Yuanwen. Chapter 40:10. The people of the Battle Saint tribe turned their gazes onto the Battle God Yuanwen. Evidently, the Battle God Yuanwen was their leader. Hee. Yuanwen laughed mischievously. Suddenly, a purple golden halberd appeared in his hand, and a terrifying chi filled the air. Boom! The Battle God Yuanwen took a step forward. His purple gold halberd grew rapidly and slashed out. The target of his attack was actually Samoros. The purple golden halberd broke through the air. Surprisingly, it had the strength of the ninth godly emperor layer. Yuanwen was terrifyingly strong. At that moment, he only had the strength of the first godly emperor layer, but when he took out his weapon, he had the strength of the ninth godly emperor layer. It wasn't that the Battle God Origin Rune's killing weapon was of a higher grade than the mysterious ice rod. It could only be said that this violet gold halberd was a halberd passed down by the ancestors of the Battle Saint tribe and was more compatible with the Battle God Origin Rune. Samo Luo's expression changed. He punched the air and a gigantic hand appeared, blocking the attack of the purple golden halberd. Brother, what's the meaning of this? We have no enmity between us, right? Asked Samo Luo coldly. We have no enmity between us, but if you want to kill Mu Yun, I won't agree because he's my opponent. Only I can kill him, you can't, said the battle god, pointing his halberd at Samo Luo coldly. By the side, Lu Ming was speechless. Samo Luo pulled a long face. He hadn't thought that Yuanwen would attack him for such a reason. If you want an opponent, I'll be your opponent. But today, I have to kill Mu Yun, said Samo Luo. Yuanwen looked at him disdainfully and said, You can't, you're still far from being strong enough. Samo Luo almost coughed up blood. He was actually being looked down upon. He was an abyssal prodigy who had awakened the abyssal progenitor's bloodline. He was the most talented prodigy in the history of the Eight Snakes mountain range. He was actually being looked down upon by the battle god Yuanwen. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He was thinking about how to deal with Lu Ming, Ling Yue, and the others. Then, he would deal with Yuanwen. He had already sentenced battle god Yuanwen to death in his heart. Lu Ming and Ling Yue didn't say anything. They were making the best use of their time to recover. Scram. If you don't scram, I'll beat you until you do. Battle god Yuanwen was domineering. You're courting death. Samo Luo roared. His figure flashed as he charged towards Yuanwen. Boom. Battle god Yuanwen's energy was as fierce as a tiger as he swung his halberd towards Samoras. However, battle god Yuanwen was no match for Samoras and was forced to retreat. Samoa hurriedly chased after him, wanting to kill the battle god Yuanwen in one go. You have the strength of the sixth godly emperor layer, and you want to fight against me, Prince Yuanwen? From the Battle Saint tribe, a muscular young man stepped out. His aura surged as his entire body shone with a reddish-golden light. He brandished a long spear and pierced it towards Samoras. Boom. After exchanging a blow, the two of them trembled and retreated at the same time. The young genius who was fighting against the holy clans was also extremely strong. He only had the strength of the sixth godly emperor layer, but he wasn't any weaker than Samo Luo. Now's the time. At that moment, Lu Ming and Ling Yue attacked at the same time. Swoosh! Ling Yue unleashed the last of her strength and shot out a heaven-shaking arrow that pierced through the void and shot towards Samoro. The arrow emitted whistling sounds as it tore through the air. It was as if nothing could stop it. At the same time, Lu Ming waved the Bingxian rod and infused the last of his energy into the Bingxian rod to launch his strongest attack. The huge shadow of the rod was like a mountain, pressing towards Samoros. The two of them grasped the timing extremely well. Just when Samoras was retreating after exchanging a blow with the heaven chosen from the Battle Saint tribe, the two of them acted. The purpose of their attack was not to kill Samoros. They knew that even if they joined hands, it would be very difficult to kill Samoras. Their goal was to force him to reveal his true identity. In a life-and-death situation, it would be very difficult to hide. As expected, Samoras's pupils contracted rapidly, and his hair stood on end. A sense of danger exploded in his heart. Roar. At the critical moment, Samoras let out a roar. A dense demonic aura gushed out from his body. At the same time, his body underwent a drastic change. A pair of demonic wings stretched out. At the same time, his body grew larger and his mouth became wide with fangs. Samoras had completely revealed his demonic form. This was because his demonic form was his strongest form. In the face of danger, he subconsciously transformed into his demonic form to avoid the danger. After transforming into his demonic form, Samoras let out a loud roar. His demonic claws clawed out. First, he destroyed Ling Yuwei's arrow and then blocked the attack of the Ice Mystic Staff. Die for me! Samoras roared and charged towards Lu Ming and Ling Yuwei. Lu Ming and Ling Yuwei quickly retreated. When they attacked, they had already retreated. However, their speed couldn't be compared to Samoras's. However, they had Dandan. When they attacked, they had already discussed their escape route. Rise! Dandan shouted softly, and a large formation appeared. Then, the formation condensed into a tortoise shell that blocked in front of Samoros. Boom! Samoras clawed at the tortoise shell, producing an ear-piercing sound. Numerous cracks appeared on the tortoise shell. However, in the end, it blocked Samoras's attack. That was enough, because the battle god Yuan won and the others had already reacted. Demon, it's really a demon. This person's chi is so strong. He has such battle prowess at the 6th godly emperor layer. He's a peerless genius among the demons. We can't let him leave. Loud roars resounded in the air. The battle god Yuan won and the genius of the Battle Saint tribe reacted the fastest. They immediately attacked. A golden halberd and a golden spear pierced towards Samoras. Facing their attacks, Samoras didn't have time to continue attacking Lu Ming and the others. He could only turn around to block. At that moment, the others also reacted and attacked, including the people of the Buddha clan. Amitabha, demon, this poor monk shall help you transcend. The real Buddha clan cultivator was covered in a golden light. The Buddhic halo above his head shone brightly. He slammed out with his palm, causing a gigantic golden palm imprint to appear, slamming towards Samoras. At the same time, the others from the Battle Saint tribe and the Buddha clan also attacked. All sorts of attacks were directed towards Samoras. Damn it! Samoras howled in rage. The Devil Saber appeared and slashed out continuously, blocking the attacks. However, he was surrounded by so many people. Among them, there were quite a few who were extremely strong, not much weaker than him. For example, that spear-wielding genius from the Battle Saint tribe. That was a true member of the Buddha race. His combat prowess was extremely strong and wasn't any weaker than Samoras. With so many people attacking together, Samoras couldn't handle it. Although he managed to block the attacks, he himself was forced to retreat repeatedly. Chapter 40:11. Being attacked by so many people, Samoras retreated continuously. As for Lu Ming, Ling Yue, Dandan, and the rest, they quietly circled behind the Battle Saint tribe and the Buddha clan, recovering while watching the show. Samo Luo was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Die! The battle god, Yuan Wan, and the others attacked Samo Luo like a storm. Samo Luo was definitely a peerless demon. If they could get his demon blood, they would be able to exchange it for a lot of merit points. The Heavenly Palace's merit points were calculated in two ways. One was the cultivation level. The higher the cultivation level of the demon, the more merit points their demon blood could be exchanged for. The other was potential. The greater the potential of the demon, the more merit points they could exchange for. The greater the potential, the more merit points they could get. There was no limit. Samo Luo was only in the 6th godly emperor layer, but he was already so strong. He was almost as strong as the candidates of the universe's young geniuses list in the primitive universe. The potential of such an existence was astonishing. One could imagine how many merit points he could exchange for. They attacked with all their strength, trying to take down Samo Luo. Samo Luo also attacked with all his strength. His demon wings were like divine swords, cutting the void. He held a demon sword in his right hand and a demon claw in his left hand. Boom, boom, boom. Both sides exchanged more than 10 moves. Samo Luo was no match for them. He was blown away and crashed into a small mountain. He coughed up blood. Just you wait. You're all going to die. Samo Luo roared furiously. He flapped his demon wings and turned into a beam of demon light, flying away at an astonishing speed. You want to leave? Stay. Die. The battle god, Yuan Wan, and the others shouted. A halberd, a spear, a golden Buddhist hand, and a golden staff tore the void apart and attacked Samo Luo. There was a horrible shriek. Blood splattered in the void. The front became quiet. The battle god, Yuan Wan, and the others chased after him, but it was to no avail. Samo Luo was injured, but he managed to escape. Then, the battle god, Yuan Wan, looked at Lu Ming with strong battle intent. Thank you for your help. Lu Ming clasped his fists. Don't thank me. It's rare for me to meet an opponent in the primitive universe. I don't want you to die like this. The battle god, Yuan Wan, grinned. The people of the Battle Saint tribe and the Buddhist clan were surprised. What did battle god Yuan Wan mean by this? Could it be that Lu Ming could compete with the battle god Yuan Wan? Could it be him? They couldn't help but think of the mysterious, monstrous genius who fought against the battle god Yuan Wan on the shady pit, Devil Mountain. Back then, Lu Ming had disguised himself, and they did not know his true appearance. They had always thought that he was a mysterious genius. Could it be Mu Yun? However, judging from Lu Ming's earlier attack, it was really possible. When Lu Ming activated his weapon just now, his combat strength was at the 9th level of the Divine Emperor realm. He was not any weaker than the fighting god Yuan Wan. At the thought of this, they were even more shocked. No matter what, you saved me once. I promise that I will let you go once in the future. Lu Ming said. Ha ha ha, let me go this time? What big words. I'm afraid you won't have such a chance. The battle god, Yuan Wan, laughed and said, Now is not a good time to fight. Mu Yun, I hope you can become a heavenly soldier. Let's fight in the heavenly palace. That's what I want. Lu Ming said. Young Master Yuan Wan, we can't stay here for long. That demon has escaped. I'm afraid it will attract a large number of demons. Let's leave this place first. A genius of the Battle Saint tribe said to the battle god, Yuan Wan. At this moment, the people of the Buddhist clan had already taken action and left. Mu Yun, let's go together. The battle god, Yuan Wan, looked at Lu Ming. There was a trace of gratitude in Lu Ming's eyes. Obviously, the battle god, Yuan Wan, had seen that Lu Ming and Ling Yue had not fully recovered. If they encountered demons, it would be very dangerous, so he invited them to go together. Apart from his belligerence, his character was not bad. Lu Ming naturally wouldn't refuse, and immediately left with the battle god, Yuan Wan, and the others. After a period of time, when Lu Ming and Ling Yue's condition had recovered to its peak, the two sides separated. Lu Ming, Ling Yue, Dandan, and Hua Shui headed in another direction. This was because they had received news that there were other elves rushing over. They were going to meet up with them. Soon, Lu Ming and the others met up with the elves. This group of elves had a total of more than 10 people. They were all young people and were the top geniuses of the elves. Greetings, Princess. Greetings, Prince Consort. They bowed to Ling Yue and Lu Ming. Lu Ming had obtained the holy tree seed for the elves, which was a great favor to the elves. Most of the elves had recognized Lu Ming and the relationship between Lu Ming and Ling Yue. You guys, don't call me that now. Ling Yue's face was flushed red. Although she was happy in her heart, she was really embarrassed. Lu Ming also coughed dryly a few times. He felt a headache coming on and quickly changed the topic. After a while, they left and continued to hunt demons. However, they did not go deeper into the Eight-Snake Mountain range and only circled around the periphery. In a valley, a large number of demon experts were gathered. However, at this moment, these demon experts were as silent as cicadas in winter, not daring to even breathe loudly. Because, in the depths of the valley, Samoa was angry. Samoa was indeed furious. The killing intent all over his body was about to materialize. Although his injuries had already healed, his anger was growing stronger and stronger. Mu Yun, Ling Yue, and the people of the great desolate universe, I want you to die, die. Samoa let out a low roar, his expression incomparably sinister. Prince, what should we do next? The people of the great desolate universe are too scattered, and it's very difficult to hunt them down. Moreover, during this period of time, the people of the great desolate universe have become smarter and won't be easily fooled. A demon minister reported, since it's difficult to hunt, then let them take the initiative to die. Samoa said, take the initiative to die? The demon ministers below all revealed puzzled expressions, not knowing what to do. I have already investigated clearly. The purpose of these creatures of the great desolate universe is to obtain our demon spirit blood. Then, we will use the demon spirit blood to attract them. During this period of time, we have snatched back a large amount of demon spirit blood from the creatures of the great desolate universe. News has spread that we will hold a sacrificial ceremony at the highest peak in the north, the Divine Dawn Peak. At that time, those creatures of the great desolate universe will naturally head towards the Divine Dawn Peak. Samoa said, then, what if the people of the great desolate universe don't go? Someone asked. No, not all of them will go, but a large portion of them will definitely go. All right, go and prepare. Samoa gave the order. Chapter 40:12. In the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. In these 5 days, Lu Ming and the others had been hunting demons in the periphery, but they did not encounter any danger. At this time, a few elven geniuses who had gone out to investigate returned. Have you found any news? Ling Yue asked. There's an important piece of news. The demons will conduct a sacrificial ceremony at the Divine Dawn Peak in the north in 25 days. An elf said, sacrificial ceremony? Lu Ming revealed a puzzled expression. The sacrificial ceremony is a tradition of the demons. For example, if a large number of demons die in battle, the demons will take out the spirit blood of these dead demons and hold a sacrificial ceremony. In the legends of the demons, this can allow the demons who died in battle to reincarnate. The elven genius said, in that case, there will be a large amount of demon spirit blood at the Divine Dawn Peak. Lu Ming whispered. The eyes of the others also flickered. In the Eight-Snake Mountain range, there were 3 ways to obtain demon spirit blood. The first was to hunt demons and obtain their spirit blood. However, this was the slowest. The second was to snatch the spirit blood of other people in the great desolate universe. This was much faster. The third was to hunt demons. However, the prerequisite was that a great battle had broken out between the 2 sides. For example, during this period of time, the demons had set up a trap and killed a large number of creatures in the great desolate universe. This way, the demon spirit blood obtained by the creatures in the great desolate universe would return to the hands of the demons. At this time, hunting demons would yield the most demon spirit blood, and the demons were conducting a sacrificial ceremony at the Divine Dawn Peak. It was obvious that they were gathering the demon spirit blood they had snatched from the creatures in the great desolate universe to conduct a sacrificial ceremony. Without a doubt, a large amount of demon spirit blood would be gathered at the Divine Dawn Peak this time. If they could obtain it, it would be a huge harvest. However, I'm afraid that most of them are traps. Lu Ming said again. Then, should we go or not? Ling Yue said. Ling Yue and the other elven geniuses were not stupid. The demons chose to conduct the sacrificial ceremony at this time. Most likely, there was an ambush, and they deliberately lured the people of the great desolate universe into it. I guess that there will still be many people in the great desolate universe who will go. Lu Ming said. The major races in the primitive universe, especially those that were ranked at the top, had many experts. Many of them could fight against geniuses that were several levels higher than them. Some of the older ones had stronger cultivations. These people might not necessarily be afraid of the demons. Knowing that there was so much abyss devil spirit blood, these people might not be able to hold themselves back. Are we going or not? Ling Yue said. She was completely looking at Lu Ming. If Lu Ming went, he would go. Whether I go or not depends on the situation. Lu Ming said. Depend on the situation? Everyone was puzzled. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. You're about to break through to the third godly emperor layer, right? Lu Ming looked at Ling Yue. He could sense that Ling Yue's cultivation level was very close to the third godly emperor layer. Indeed, I almost broke through to the third godly emperor layer. After that battle, I have the feeling that I'll break through to the third godly emperor layer soon. Ling Yue nodded. My cultivation level is also about to break through. So I said, it depends on the situation. If we can break through within 25 days, we can go. If we can't break through, we won't go. Lu Ming said. If their cultivation level hadn't broken through, even if they controlled a great killing weapon, they would only be able to fight against a ninth godly emperor layer existence. The key was that they would be exhausted after a few moves. If they went to the Divine Dawn Peak, they wouldn't have the strength to fight for the Abyss Devil Spirit Blood. Instead, they would be courting death. However, if their cultivation level could break through and their battle strength soared, they might still have a chance. All right then, let's break through with all our might now. Ling Yue nodded. Immediately, they found a secret place to stay and began to cultivate in seclusion. In a cave, Lu Ming sealed himself inside. With a wave of his hand, Qiu flew out and floated in the air. There was another reason why he said this. He felt that Qiu was about to break through. Eat, I want to eat. Qiu opened his mouth and kept muttering. He was about to break through, so he needed a lot of energy. Lu Ming took out a pile of divine weapons and threw them to Qiu. Qiu swallowed them into his mouth, and then the balloon sank. After comforting Qiu, Lu Ming also began to cultivate. After a series of battles, under the stimulation of great pressure and danger, Lu Ming's cultivation level advanced by leaps and bounds. Especially the battle with Samoro, it was very difficult. Lu Ming suppressed himself to the extreme and stimulated his potential to the extreme. When he recovered, he found that he was very close to the second godly emperor layer. I must break through within 25 days. No, within 20 days, Lu Ming whispered, giving himself a lot of pressure. Buzz buzz. All the cells in his body were trembling. Under this pressure, Lu Ming began to try to break through to the second godly emperor layer. In his cells, traces of potential were constantly stimulated. Time passed quickly. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, soon, 10 days had passed. Boom! At that moment, Qiu suddenly released a powerful qi. Qiu had broken through to the fifth godly emperor layer. Qiu had broken through to the fifth godly emperor layer. With Qiu's fighting strength, he could definitely kill ordinary cultivators of the seventh godly emperor layer. He would definitely be a great help to Lu Ming. Qiu broke through. I have to speed up too. Soon, soon. I feel like I'm about to reach a bottleneck, whispered Lu Ming. He continued to cultivate. Very quickly, the 18th day arrived. Suddenly, Lu Ming opened his eyes. It seemed like the sun, the moon, and the stars were in his eyes. Then, a powerful qi emerged from his body. His qi rose rapidly. In the end, there was an explosion as he broke through to the next cultivation level. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had broken through. He had finally broken through to the second godly emperor layer. Lu Ming sensed that the forbidden strength in his body had increased dramatically. On top of that, he hadn't reached the peak yet because he had just broken through. Lu Ming took out a large amount of spiritual wood hearts and started to absorb them. Another day passed and Lu Ming's qi finally stabilized. With my current strength, controlling the Xin ice rod should be much easier. Lu Ming sensed the vigorous strength in his body and smiled. At the same time, he looked confident. If he controlled the Xin ice rod now, he would be able to use the strength of the ninth godly emperor layer. He would be able to use a lot of attacks, at least a dozen. It wouldn't be like before, where he could only use a few attacks. Of course, Lu Ming could also use his full strength. That way, the Shin Ice Rod's strength would increase dramatically. It would surpass the strength of an ordinary cultivator of the 9th Godly Emperor layer. But that way, Lu Ming wouldn't be able to use too many attacks. But all in all, Lu Ming's fighting strength had increased tremendously. Translator, Transin Editor, Transin. Chapter 40:13. However, if you can use the mysterious ice rod less, it's better to use it less. Lu Ming warned himself in his heart. After all, the mysterious ice rod was an external object. If one relied too much on external objects, they would develop a reliance on external objects and lose their drive to improve. This would be very detrimental to their future cultivation. Lu Ming decided that after completing this assessment, he would try his best not to use the mysterious ice rod. Lu Ming, you've also broken through. That's great. Cho flew over with a fawning expression. Take it and eat it. When Lu Ming saw Cho's appearance, he knew what this guy was planning. He casually took out a large number of divine weapons and threw them at Cho. Cho opened his mouth wide and swallowed them all in one gulp. Then, he revealed a satisfied expression and turned into a bracelet on Lu Ming's wrist. Lu Ming broke out of seclusion. As soon as he came out of seclusion, he saw Ling Yue standing in the air, her body constantly emitting a powerful aura. Behind her was a towering tree that towered into the sky. As for the geniuses of the elf clan, they were carefully guarding the surroundings, protecting Ling Yue. 3rd level of the Divine Emperor realm. Lu Ming sensed it slightly and knew that Ling Yue's cultivation had indeed broken through and stepped into the 3rd level of the Divine Emperor realm. After a long time, Ling Yue's aura calmed down, and the phenomenon of the towering tree also disappeared. Congratulations! Lu Ming stepped into the air with a smile on his face. Congratulations! It seems that you've also broken through. This trip to the Divine Dawn Peak is a must. Ling Yue smiled. Such a big commotion didn't attract any demons. It seems that the experts of the demons are really not nearby and are heading towards the Divine Dawn Peak. We can't all go, Lu Ming said. Ling Yue nodded. In the end, it was decided that Lu Ming, Ling Yue, and Dandan would go while the others would stay here. It was not hard to imagine how dangerous the Divine Dawn Peak was. There would definitely be a fierce battle there. Those who were not strong enough would only be courting death if they went there. Lu Ming and Ling Yue's cultivation had both broken through, and their fighting strength had greatly increased. As for Dandan's formation, it was incomparably profound and might be of use at that time. After making the decision, the 3 of them immediately set off towards the Divine Dawn Peak. On the way, they didn't encounter any extremely strong demons. Not to mention demons of the 9th Godly Emperor layer, they didn't even encounter many demons of the 8th Godly Emperor layer. Occasionally, they encountered some demons, but they were very weak. Lu Ming and the others killed them easily. Therefore, their journey was smooth and unimpeded. The 3 of them traveled at an extremely fast speed, and in only 3 days, they arrived at the Divine Dawn Peak. There was still a day before the demon's sacrificial ritual began. In front of him, a tall and majestic mountain stood between heaven and earth. From afar, one could see the figures of demons flashing on the mountain peak. Lu Ming and the other 2 stopped in the distance. Nearby, they discovered other creatures from the primitive universe. For example, the Buddha clan, the Blood clan, and so on were all very powerful races. Each of these races had gathered more than 100 people, observing from afar. For the time being, no one made a move. Clearly, they were waiting for an opportunity. A day passed in the blink of an eye. This was the creature of the primitive universe hiding in the dark, watching the Divine Dawn Peak from afar. At this time, they saw many demons appear at the top of the Divine Dawn Peak, surrounding an altar. Then, a demon took out a huge crystal coffin and placed it on the altar. Many people's eyes lit up. Without a doubt, the crystal coffin contained the demon spirit blood. The demons were about to begin the sacrificial ritual. However, no one made a move for the time being. They were all waiting for others to make a move. The sacrificial ritual will last for 7 days and 7 nights. After the ritual is over, the demon's spirit blood will dissipate. We are not in a hurry to make a move. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Ling Yue and Dandan. The others had the same idea as him. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. Finally, someone couldn't hold it in anymore. A team rushed towards the Divine Dawn Peak. That's the World Annihilation Clan. Lu Ming and the others were astonished. That team was from a terrifyingly powerful clan, the World Annihilation Clan. The World Annihilation Clan was ranked 11th on the ranking list of the 10,000 clans of the primitive universe. They were extremely strong. There were more than 100 people from the World Annihilation Clan. They were extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, they were about to reach the top of the mountain. Die! A group of demons suddenly charged out of the Divine Dawn Peak. That group of demons was composed of more than a dozen cultivators of the 9th Godly Emperor layer, dozens of cultivators of the 8th Godly Emperor layer, and over 100 cultivators of the 7th Godly Emperor layer. They were extremely strong. The demons and the members of the World Annihilation Clan fought fiercely. The sky and the earth rumbled. However, the World Annihilation Clan quickly fell into a disadvantageous position. Even though there were some terrifying cultivators in the World Annihilation Clan who could fight across several cultivation levels, and there were also peerless geniuses who had the strength of the 9th Godly Emperor layer, there were fewer of them than the demons. After a short time, the World Annihilation Clan left a few corpses behind and retreated. The demons didn't chase after them. Very quickly, the members of the World Annihilation Clan disappeared into the forest. Obviously, there are many demons hiding in the Divine Dawn Peak. That was just one of them. Lu Ming said, "Yes, they want to lure everyone out and kill them all in one fell swoop." Dandan said, "Let's hide. Don't act blindly without thinking. Those strong clans won't be able to hold themselves back." Lu Ming said. The three of them hid in a secret place and observed the situation. Lu Ming had guessed correctly. After a day, those strong clans couldn't hold themselves back anymore. The top 10 clans took the lead and gathered the other clans to attack the Divine Dawn Peak together. Once they obtained the spiritual blood of the evil demons, they would split the rewards equally. Very quickly, more than 50 clans had gathered together. There were a few thousand people from 50 clans. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Those people attacked. Their silhouettes flickered as they charged towards the Divine Dawn Peak. When they were 300 li away from the Divine Dawn Peak, they all rose into the air and charged towards the top of the Divine Dawn Peak. Die! A cold voice came from the Xinxia Peak. Then, numerous demons rushed out of the Xinxia Peak and rushed toward the strong cultivators of the various races in the primitive universe. The two armies collided violently, and a fierce battle broke out. There were more than 10,000 strong cultivators on both sides. It was an earth-shattering battle. So many strong cultivators. There are almost 200 demons of the 9th Godly Emperor layer. Lu Ming and the others looked grave. So many demons of the 9th Godly Emperor layer attacking at the same time was terrifying. Even with their current fighting strength, they could only run away. The strong clans of the primitive universe hadn't thought that there would be so many strong demons among the demons. As soon as they started fighting, they suffered great losses. Many of them were torn apart by the demons. Chapter 40:14. The demons had more than 200 cultivators of the 9th Godly Emperor layer and more than 1,000 cultivators of the 8th Godly Emperor layer. That number exceeded the expectations of the geniuses of the primitive universe. Suddenly, the primitive universe's side was at a disadvantage. People kept dying. The two sides fought fiercely for a while. In the end, the primitive universe's side retreated, leaving behind many corpses. The demons didn't chase after them. They retreated to the Godly Dawn Peak, not to ambush the primitive universe's creatures, but to protect the sacrificial ceremony. At the top of the Godly Dawn Peak, Samo Luo sat cross-legged and gazed into the distance. "Prince, why didn't you use your full strength a moment ago? It was a good opportunity to annihilate the primitive universe's creatures," asked a demon curiously. "It's not time yet. The person I'm waiting for hasn't appeared yet. Besides, there's a big fish in the primitive universe." "I'm waiting," said Samo Luo coldly. The primitive universe's creatures retreated far away and gathered together. They all pulled long faces. I wouldn't have thought that the godly Dawn Peak would have so many strong cultivators. Are all the strong cultivators of the Eight-Snake Demon Kingdom coming? More than 200 cultivators of the Ninth Godly Emperor layer. That's terrifying. Unfortunately, some of the stronger geniuses of my clan are practicing in other areas. Same for my clan. Everybody was talking. The Heavenly Palace divided the Dark Universe's territories into different levels according to how dangerous they were. The Eight-Snake Mountain Range was a Level 2 area. The strongest cultivators there were cultivators of the Ninth Godly Emperor layer. The Level 3 area was even more dangerous. Not only were there many Godly Emperor layer demons, but there were also great Supreme God level demons. That kind of devil was incomparably terrifying. However, some strong cultivators from different clans would take the exam in the Level 3 area because they could get more merit points there. That was why the strong cultivators of those clans said that. Besides, they couldn't cross the line at will when taking the exam in different areas. For example, if you went to the Level 3 area, you couldn't change your mind. You could only stay in the Level 3 area until the exam was over. Otherwise, some people from those clans would send messages to the geniuses of those clans and ask them to come and help them. That way, we won't be able to take the godly Dawn Peak and get the blood. Sighed someone. Not necessarily. A blood-robed youth said coldly. Everybody recognized him. He was a young genius from the Blood Clan, one of the 10 strongest clans. He had a terrifying weapon. If he used his full strength, he could defeat cultivators of the Ninth Godly Emperor layer. Could it be that you have a way? Many people looked at the blood kindred prodigy. Indeed, I don't mind telling you. We have a peerless cultivator who can easily kill cultivators of the Ninth Godly Emperor layer. He's in the Eight Snakes Mountain Range. The prodigy of the blood race said, What? Didn't such an existence go to the Level 3 area? Where is he now? Why don't I see him? Everyone was shocked. That's a cousin of mine. When he was hunting demons in the Eight Snake Mountain Range, he had a sudden epiphany. A few days ago, he was in secluded cultivation. I just sent him a message, and he has already ended his secluded cultivation and is rushing over at full speed. With his help, we can definitely defeat the evil demon army, the kindred freak said. That's great. We'll wait for a few days, said the others. I don't think that's enough. Before, when we attacked, there were many people who didn't attack. They just watched from the sidelines and watched the tigers fight. They wanted to be the fishermen who would reap the benefits. How can we ignore those people? Said someone coldly. It was an angel. It was the 10-winged angel who had fought against Lu Ming and the others. His name was Lafitte. He didn't say that to target Lu Ming and the others. In fact, he didn't even notice that Lu Ming and the others were hiding in the dark. The main reason was that there were many people who were hiding in the dark. Before, not everyone had participated in the battle against the evil demon army. Some people hadn't attacked. Those people all had their own thoughts. Some people were afraid and didn't dare attack. Some people had the same idea as Lu Ming and the others. They wanted to watch from the sidelines and watch the tigers fight. They wanted to be the fishermen who would reap the benefits. That's right. Those people are a disaster. If they don't get lost, they'll die, said the blood kindred freak coldly. Then before the next attack, let's get rid of those people first. That's right. Join us or get lost. Each side will be responsible for one direction. After the discussion, with the top 10 clans as the leaders, these people spread out in all directions, attacking those who were hiding in the dark. Boom. In one direction, the people of the Blood Clan attacked. Rays of blood-red light bombarded the ground. The ground rumbled as a huge explosion occurred. Then, one figure after another rushed out in a sorry state. What are you doing, Blood Kindred? You attacked us for no reason. We didn't provoke you, did we? The people who rushed out from the ground roared angrily. Those people were from a strange race called the Earth Travelers. They were short, but they could walk on rocks. Their overall strength was very strong in the primordial universe. They were ranked 63rd on the primordial 10,000 races list. Previously, they had been hiding underground, preparing to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight, then reap the benefits of the fishermen. They were going to wait for the creatures of the other races and the evil demons to be injured. Then, they would use the earth travel technique to secretly steal the evil demon's spirit blood. Unfortunately, the blood kindred blasted them out. Why did you attack? You earth travelers are hiding in the dark and want to reap the benefits. It's not that easy. Now, I'll give you a choice. Join us and fight the evil demons together, or get lost. A blood kindred prodigy said coldly, You blood kindred, don't go too far. It's our freedom whether we want to attack or not. It's also our freedom where we want to rest. The dark universe doesn't belong to you blood kindred. An earth traveler prodigy argued. Oh, is that so? The blood kindred prodigy smiled coldly. Suddenly, he turned into a ray of blood-red light and flashed out. Poof! When the blood-red light disappeared, the earth traveler prodigy's body was split in half and he died on the spot. You, the earth traveler prodigy, was shocked. If you don't want to get lost, then die. The blood kindred prodigy said coldly. The earth traveler prodigy's expression turned ugly. However, they did not dare to resist the blood kindred. The top 10 races were much stronger than them. Okay, let's leave. Let's go. The earth traveler prodigies gritted their teeth and retreated. The earth traveler prodigies were famous for being cowards in the universe. If it weren't for their great talent, they wouldn't have been ranked 63rd on the primordial 10,000 races list. In the blink of an eye, all the earth traveler prodigies had left. Chapter 40:15. The same situation happened around the Divine Dawn Peak. Some of the clans and individuals hiding in the dark were all blasted out. Some people joined in to attack the demons, while others chose to retreat. It was inevitable that Lu Ming and the other 3 would be found. Get the hell out here. Swish. A cold voice rang out. Following that, a dazzling holy light slashed down towards the place where Lu Ming and the others were hiding. Lu Ming and Ling Yu could only retreat and rush into the air. Why were there 2 people and not 3? This was because Dandan had left when the various races were fighting with the demons. He had informed Lu Ming and Ling Yue that he needed to set up a formation in the dark. Enemies truly meet on a narrow road. A thought flashed through Lu Ming's mind. This was because the one who attacked them was none other than the angel race. Moreover, it was the male tin-winged angel, Lafitte. When Lafitte saw Lu Ming and Ling Yue, he was clearly stunned for a moment before his eyes filled with a cold light. Mu Yun, Ling Yue, it's you guys. Ha ha ha, this time, let's see where you guys go. Lafitte laughed loudly, his killing intent as cold as a blade. This area was under the responsibility of the angel race, so the people of the angel race were all scattered around. When they heard Lafitte's voice, they all looked over and turned into rays of holy light as they rushed over. Lu Ming's expression was calm as he said indifferently, So it's you. You're not dead yet. What a pity. Back then, Lu Ming and the others had relied on Dandan's formation to break out of the encirclement and leave these angels to the demons. It seemed that in the end, these angels had still managed to break out. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, there were at least dozens of angel race geniuses surrounding Lu Ming and Ling Yue. It's them. Damned bastard. This time, we'll tear them into pieces. How dare they trick us? Angry roars rang out one after another. Many of the angel race's prodigies looked at Lu Ming and Lin Fan with murderous intent. Back then, they had been tricked by Lu Ming and the others. They had been besieged by a group of demon powerhouses. Although they had escaped in the end, they had suffered heavy losses. A portion of the angels had become food for the demons. These people had long since hated Lu Ming and Ling Yue to the bone. It seems like quite a few of you managed to escape. What a pity, what a pity. Lu Ming shook his head and sighed. Brat, you're courting death. Die. Lafitte roared and took out his great killing weapon, the angelic divine sword. Whoosh! A powerful aura emanated from the angelic sword, and a sword light slashed towards Lu Ming. He knew how strong Lu Ming was, so he immediately used his most powerful weapon. He had the strength of the 9th godly emperor layer. But this time, Lu Ming didn't take out the mysterious ice rod. Instead, he took out the Zephyr Pearl. When Lu Ming had broken through to the second godly emperor layer, he had been able to summon even stronger gales from the Zephyr Pearl. His strength had reached the ninth godly emperor layer. The Zephyr Pearl was easy to use. That way, Lu Ming would be able to fight for a longer period of time. Whoosh! Whoosh! The Zephyr Pearl turned into a tornado and moved towards Lafitte's angelic divine sword. Boom! A violent explosion sounded out as the tornado formed by the fierce wind collided with the angelic sword, causing a shocking explosion. Then, the fierce wind dissipated, and Lafitte's body retreated continuously. Fuck! Attack! Attack together! Kill him! Shouted Lafitte. Die! In the surroundings, many of the angel race's prodigies attacked. All sorts of holy lights moved towards Lu Ming. Many of them had the strength of the ninth godly emperor layer. It wasn't that all of them had deadly weapons, but that some of them had very high cultivation levels. Some of them had the strength of the seventh godly emperor layer, some had the strength of the eighth godly emperor layer, and some had the strength of the ninth godly emperor layer. Block! Lu Ming used his full strength to activate the Zephyr Pearl. Gales kept coming out of the Zephyr Pearl, forming a circular wall of wind around him. Boom! 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 Those attacks bombarded the wall of wind, making it shake violently. It even started collapsing. However, Lu Ming summoned more gales and continued forming the wall of wind. The wall of wind kept the angel race's prodigies at bay. At that moment, Ling Yue attacked. The royal elf bow appeared in her hand. Whoosh! An arrow pierced through the air and shot towards an angel race's prodigy. That angel race's prodigy was an eight-winged angel. He had the strength of the seventh godly emperor layer, but his fighting strength was comparable to that of the ninth godly emperor layer. However, he couldn't block Ling Yue's arrow. Puff! The arrow pierced through his attack and directly pierced through his body. The lower half of his body exploded into pieces, and blood spurted out of his mouth. He was severely injured. Her attack power. Why is it so strong? The others were shocked. At this time, Ling Yue shot another arrow. This arrow was aimed at Lafitte. Lafitte was shocked. He slashed out with all his might with the angel sword, colliding with the arrow. However, it was useless. With a boom, his body shook violently. In the end, he couldn't even hold onto the angel sword and flew out. The arrow also pierced through Lafitte's body. Lafitte screamed miserably as his body exploded, leaving only his head behind. He was not dead yet. He retreated in fear, his eyes filled with incomparable fear. Most of his strength relied on that great killing weapon. That great killing weapon was sent flying by the arrow, and he relied on his own ability to not die after being pierced through by Ling Yue's arrow. This was already a sign of his strong vitality. Ling Yue drew her bow again, still aiming at Lafitte. She had an extremely bad impression of Lafitte and wanted to kill him with one arrow. Swoosh! The emerald green arrow flew out, once again shooting towards Lafitte. This time, if Lafitte were to be hit, he would definitely die. At this moment, a silver cross sword wave violently slashed out and struck Ling Yue's arrow. It actually blocked Ling Yue's arrow. Then, the figure of an angel appeared. This angel was an eight-winged angel, but his cultivation level was shockingly strong. He had reached the eighth divine emperor layer. An eight-winged angel of the eighth divine emperor layer was able to fight across two levels. His strength was already far above that of an ordinary ninth divine emperor layer. How dare you? You want to kill someone from my angel clan? You're courting death. The young angel groaned coldly. The divine sword in his hand slashed out continuously, slashing at the wind wall that Lu Ming had set up with the strong wind. Rumble. The wind wall violently shook, and then was forcibly split open by the sword light. The terrifying sword chi covered the sky and covered the earth as it slashed towards Ling Yue. Ling Yue continuously shot a few arrows with all her strength. Her chi was a bit unstable, and it was a bit difficult for her to dodge. At that moment, Lu Ming no longer hesitated. He took out the ice Xian rod and smashed it out, destroying the sword chi. Kill! Lu Ming shouted loudly. The ice Xian rod turned into the size of a mountain and smashed down towards the genius of the Angel clan. The genius of the Angel clan also rushed forward, slashing out a shocking sword light. Chapter 4016. Lu Ming and the eight-winged angel clan's prodigy were fighting with their strongest abilities. The mountain-like mysterious ice rod and the pure white sword light collided, resulting in a shocking explosion. Then, the two figures were both knocked back. They were evenly matched. After Lu Ming activated the mysterious ice rod with all his strength, the power that erupted was about the same as that of the eight-winged angel. Damn it, both of them have broken through. What a terrifying battle strength. In the surroundings, there were some angels who hadn't interacted with Lu Ming and the others before. At this moment, they were deeply shocked. His cultivation was only at the second layer of the godly emperor realm. Even if he had a great killing weapon, he wouldn't be so ridiculously strong. Not only these angels, but in other directions, the people of other races were also alarmed. Their gazes were looking over. This guy has broken through again. There was a trace of shock in the eyes of the battle god Yuan. He had broken through to the godly emperor realm at the same time as Lu Ming, but he had the support of countless resources of the battle saint tribe. Now, he was still a step away from breaking through to the second layer of the godly emperor realm, but Lu Ming had broken through before him. Interesting, really interesting. I won't fall behind. The battle god Yuan grinned, his eyes filled with a strong fighting spirit. As for the others, they were only shocked. That's Mu Yun? What a powerful strength. What level of divine weapon is that in his hand? These people were discussing spiritedly. At this moment, Lu Ming launched another attack. The mysterious ice rod's aura was like a rainbow as it smashed down once again. The eight-winged angel of the angel clan brandished his sword to meet the enemy. However, at this moment, the other angels were in an awkward situation. They originally wanted to attack Ling Yue, but when they saw Ling Yue's arrow pointing at them, they were shocked and retreated one after another. Ling Yue's arrow was too powerful. It was almost a sure kill. No one had the confidence to block it, and no one had the confidence to not die after blocking it. Therefore, when Ling Yue's arrow was aimed at someone, that person would retreat in shock. For a moment, no angel dared to attack Ling Yue. In the end, Ling Yue's arrow was aimed at the eight-winged angel who was fighting with Lu Ming. The eight-winged angel was also shocked. He had just faced Ling Yue's arrows head-on, and their power was astonishing. He could only barely block them. At this time, he was fighting with all his might with Lu Ming. If Ling Yue were to attack him, he had no confidence in being able to block it. Therefore, for a moment, all the hair on his body stood up, and a chill rose from the bottom of his heart. After exchanging a move with Lu Ming, he quickly retreated, distancing himself from Lu Ming and Ling Yue. Ling Yue and Lu Ming gathered together and looked coldly at these angels, not chasing after them. The two of them relied on their weapons to have such battle prowess, but they couldn't last for long. Although the two of them joined forces and attacked with all their strength, they were confident in being able to hold back the strongest angels present. But they would also face the awkward situation of exhausting their strength. Right now, there were many experts around. If he ran out of energy, it would be very dangerous. Therefore, the two of them did not pursue him. As for the angels, they did not dare to make a move. Their faces were all red as they glared at Lu Ming and Ling Yue, filled with killing intent. This time, they had lost a lot of face. So many people had attacked Lu Ming and Ling Yue, but in the end, they were so embarrassed that they did not dare to make a move. They hated Lu Ming and Ling Yue so much that their teeth itched, but there was nothing they could do. Ha ha ha, powerful, powerful. Brother Mu, it's only been a few days since we last met, but you're getting more and more powerful. A loud laugh broke the deadlock. It was the battle god Yuan who walked over with the people of the battle saint tribe. Brother battle god. Lu Ming cupped his fists. If you angels don't dare to make a move, then retreat a little further. A bunch of trash. The battle god Yuan glanced at the angels in disdain. Battle god Yuan, what do you mean by this? The angels were furious as they glared at the battle god Yuan. However, as one of the top 10 races, the battle god Yuan was not afraid of the angels. He said disdainfully, "What? If you want to make a move, come on. Do you think we don't dare? We'll destroy you guys first." The angels were enraged as their bodies glowed with holy light. However, the people of the Battle Saint tribe were not afraid of them at all. They all revealed powerful battle intent as they took out their divine weapons, looking like they were ready to fight at any moment. A great battle between the two top 10 races was about to break out. Bah. Everyone, please calm down. Our common target now is the demons. A living being whose body was shining with golden light stepped out. This was a true Buddha. His head was glowing with Buddhist light, and his aura was unfathomable. That's right. Now is not the time for internal strife. A living being wrapped in a black robe walked out. His figure was like an illusion as he kept twisting and turning. Everyone recognized him. He was a powerful genius of the soul race, one of the top 10 races. Following that, the geniuses of the other top 10 races all tried to persuade him. With so many people persuading him, the angels finally snorted and found a way out. They retracted their auras and did not make a move. In fact, even if they made a move, they were not confident of defeating the Battle Saint tribe. Brother Mu, Elf Princess, the two of you are very powerful. Why don't you join us to deal with the demons together? Battle God Yuanwen looked at Lu Ming and Ling Yue. Of course. Lu Ming and Ling Yue both nodded. Previously, they wanted to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight while reaping the benefits. But now that they were discovered, it was obvious that they could not be the fishermen anymore. However, the two of them had no intention of leaving. So, joining these people and working together was the best plan. All right, haha. With the two of you joining us, our confidence will be greater. Battle God Yuanwen laughed. Oomph. The angels snorted with displeasure. The storm calmed down. Not long after, the area around the Xinxia Peak was completely cleared out. Those who had been hiding in the dark and the demons had joined the army. They had either joined forces or left the place, staying far, far away. Then, everyone looked at the divine dawn peak from afar and waited. They did not wait for too long. 2 days later, swish. In the distance, a blood-red light rushed over at an astonishing speed. Everyone only saw a blood-red light flash in the distance. In the next moment, a young man covered in blood appeared not far away. It's blood-robed Song Ming. Someone exclaimed. Many people's hearts skipped a beat and their pupils constricted. Because blood-robed Song Ming was very famous. It could be said that his name shook the universe. Because he was one of the candidates of the universe prodigy list, like Angeling, but his cultivation was much stronger than Angeling's. Blood-robed Song Ming's cultivation had reached the 7th level godly emperor realm. With his powerful combat strength, ordinary 9th level godly emperors were like ants in his hands. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.